Okay, I'm going to start recording. Now it's recording, and then it seems that I cannot change the sharing directly. I have to stop sharing. And okay, well, here we go, dear people. Today is going to be a very practical class. I think that we have acquired a lot of knowledge over the last classes. The semester will finish pretty soon. Actually, can you tell me? I think that the classes are, we have one, right? One, two, three, three classes, and then one class for the final projects. Am I all right? One, two, three. Yes, three more classes. Okay. So if you want to turn on your cameras, that would be more than appreciated. Okay.
I think that we only have two classes because the 15th is going to be a puente, long weekend.
Don't tell me that we don't have classes on the 15th.
No.
Okay. Okay, that's good. Well, that's not good, but that's the way it is. So are you pretty sure that we don't have classes the 15th?
I am 90% sure.
Okay. Well, that's sad. That's really sad. Okay, so even more. Okay, well, what we want that I want to do. I saw your projects. Your projects were fine. Your projects are really exciting seeds that can grow into a really fancy and sophisticated piece of music, right? What I want to show you is a thing that I did over the weekend. I just want to show you an example. Obviously, it's not the most attractive or finished finish example, but it is something that I thought that it could be a good idea as a final project. I don't know how many of you are interested about doing your own musical productions. I would imagine that many of you want to do that. So I'm going to go through all the process that I did in order to achieve this solution. Um, the class will be recorded and the files are going to be shared. Okay. So what I wanted to do is I love to improvise on my keyboard. I love to improvise on my keyboard, and then I want to create a background layer for doing this improvisation. Okay. I usually work on my Linux machine. I really think that a Linux operating system is extremely powerful, and also I'm really a person that believes in many of the benefits that give you the open source communities. That's why I don't use Ableton Live, especially because it's expensive, and also because it's a proprietarian. And I think that there is a huge amount of code around that give you the opportunity to do really decent and really amazing solutions with a lower or trying to boost smaller industries. I see that. I know that many of you, if you don't mind turning on your camera, that would be appreciated. If also, I think that small companies should grow and should develop. I know that some of you, well, people that is in not in your generation but in your program, are starting to develop your own BSTs and so on and so on. Okay, so what I want to show you today is a small overview of pretty similar situation of what we did over the course, but it's like if you haven't pay attention to the classes over the last semester, over all the semester, I think this class could encompass all the things that we are achieving. Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna give for the people that is interested about working on Linux. I'm working on a Linux machine. On a Linux machine, as you well know from the previous examples about Jack is an audio server. Jack is a system for connecting, routing, and sending audio and MIDI through different applications. It's a mixture between the audio system of the Mac and the loop program. What's the name of the Mac software for doing audio routings? Is the loop port audio, right? And it is something like this, and you can route connections between one and the other, and then you can also route MIDI interfaces, and you can connect also devices and so on. I'm going to show you also a little bit of my I'm going to show you if you don't mind, I'm going to show you the the setup that I have in my small studio. It is not obviously a uh, um, uh, a pro studio, it is a home studio. Okay, but I want you to show you just a little bit of why do I have configured what I have configured at the moment, right? So just to be clear, I have a small MIDI controller. Okay, this is just a MIDI controller which is sending MIDI. This is not producing sound at all, right? It's just sending MIDI information. I also have a small rack. It is a MIDI rack. It used to be a really fancy keyboard from the 90s. It tended to be really expensive. It was like the top of the line in the 90s. It is a Kurzweil synthesizer. It has good, decent sounds quality, but not anymore. I mean, you can get it from many different, but it is sending a MIDI. I have an audio card, okay, which is only 8 channels, eight input, 8 output. I have a secondary mixer because my main mixer is broken and it's been fixed because it was generating a buzz, which is a problem for me because of the audio connections. I cannot have all my devices at the moment. I have a pretty old keyboard. This is an Italian keyboard that has also a very fancy data sounds. Okay, it has poly. It was one of the keyboards that has polyphonic pressure, which means that I can press two keyboards, and if I press one key really high, the pressure will change this sound, but it's not going to change this sound. It was individual polyphonic pressure. And I have also a kind of old Nord, which is producing more like a B3. The reason what I have this keyboard, it is because it has the it has how to say a B3 emulator. The B3, for the people that doesn't know, it used to be one of the fancy organ for playing jazz music and so on. But this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy are sending the traditional all MIDI cables. Because you need all MIDI cables, therefore I have a small interface, which is this one. Okay, this is just a MIDI input, MIDI output. 8 MIDI input channels, 8 MIDI. It was a MIDI plus. It has 8 MIDI input, and then in the back it has 8 MIDI outputs. Pretty much, if you are building your own studio, you are not going to require all of that. That is just because I have very old instruments that requires MIDI. Okay, that's what I have in that area. Okay, so but I don't have drums and I don't have places. Although I have a little bit isolated the studio. As you can see, I have a um, small things for trying to remove a little bit of the reverberation of the space. I don't have a reverberation. It is obviously not a place where I can record an acoustic instrument without having a lot of problems. And I want to improvise. I love to improvise on my keyboard, and therefore I wanted to create a drum setup. I could have created probably Ableton, where you can download all these loops and so on. But again, because I don't have Ableton Live, I need to find it in another way. I found this pretty nice keyboard, this pretty nice setup that is called Drum Gizmo. Okay, Drum Gizmo is the effort from a community that is doing a lot of Linux audio. So if you go to the Linux audio, you will realize that there is a huge amount of people creating different softwares, code, um, and different audio materials that you can generate. For example, the one of the Ardour. I don't know if you know Ardour. It's an audio. It's an audio workstation. It's a pretty fancy audio workstation that it works on Linux. Okay, so if you decide that you are going to move into this kind of situations, you can use Ardour, which is pretty amazing DAO system. Okay, that's one important thing. Okay, now why did I decide to use this software? Why did I decide to use this software? This software is a little bit like the one that we use on Windows, where you can download different samplers. Okay, but it is just this one is only focused on drums. Okay, and one thing that I like about this one is that it is a BST plugin. If you decide that, or if you decide to use this one on a Windows computer, you are gonna need you will need it as a BST plugin. Okay, and then you have also as a BSTi version for the MacOS in the case that you want it. In the case, okay, now once that you have Drum Gizmo as a BST plugin, okay, and by the way, you can use pretty much all the BSTs that are developed for the Windows. You can use them on Linux. And the other thing that you have is that once that you have this one, you can download the different drum kits. There is a drum kits that the community has created, okay? And these are the different drum kits that you have, okay? These are the different people that was recording different drum kits. For example, this one, okay? Has
We are
some.
not seeing your screen.
Oh, I apologize. Uh, Thank you. Okay, so what I was saying a few minutes ago is that there is this Adour digital workstation, audio digital workstation. It's pretty fancy and it works for Linux, Macs, and Windows. And the other thing that I was saying is that you can always go to the Linux audio community, okay? This Linux audio community, where there is a lot of resources for audio over Linux. Okay, now and then what I was saying is that I found this drum gizmo, which is a project for having a drum system. It works for if you decide to use it for any reason, download drum kits. Getting drum kit. You will have the different versions for the Mac, Windows, and so on. And as you can see, it is a BSTi for Windows and so on. Okay. In my case, because I'm on a Linux, I need to use a client that I will show in a second. And then what I like about this project is that you have the drum kits. You have one BST and you can plug it to different drum kit sets. Okay, the one that I used was this one. Okay, this is the recording, and this is the drum that was created. I don't know if you can hear it. I think you will see. Okay. This is the actual drum that was recorded. Okay, I like a lot that is a Creative Commons attributes. Okay, and you can download it. I already downloaded, and it is a file that is made of this audio. As you can see it, it is 2 gigabytes. It is 3 gigabytes of size. Okay, and now you can say, why on earth I have 3 gigabytes only for the drums? Well, the point is that, for example, each different layer of, for example, the I don't know, the snare, okay, it has 56 different snares touches, okay, on different positions, which is pretty nice. And then it has an XML that is describing the way they are connected. Okay, it's saying, okay, this is the power, okay, and then which are the channels that should be routed, and this is all the description of the file. Okay, okay, how does this was implemented? Well, then I have Reaper. Okay, I have a Reaper connected. Okay, and then I have this Carla. Carla is the BST plugin for using other plugins on Linux. And inside Carla, I have this. I have my audio inputs. I have my 16 audio channels that are generated through the drum gizmo. Okay. And then I have the MIDI input that will be triggering the drum gizmo. And then I have here a set of connections that I want you to see. Okay. Here is the place where you have to load the XML for the drum kit. This is the XML for the MIDI map, and this will create, okay, this will create the proper channels. This will create the proper channels of the 16 audio channels. It will create the 16 different channels. Why do we have 16 different channels? Because this drum was recorded with 16 different microphones, okay? So you have a microphone for the hi-hat, a microphone for the different materials. Let me turn on this one. Okay. So, okay. So this is the setup of the drums. This is the setup of the drums. Okay. And if I play it, it's not sounding. It is not sounding because I need to connect. And then I need to say the input of my keyboard, the input of my keyboard should go to the MIDI through, okay, from the ALSA, which are the hardware. And then the MIDI through should be connected to the BST rack. No, should be connected to the my input. My input should be connected to the MIDI through, and my MIDI through should be connected to Reaper. Yes, my MIDI through should be also connected to Reaper input 1. And that's it. Okay? Could you tell me if you hear the audio that I'm sending from here? I would imagine that you can hear my audio not from my microphones. I'm also saying that everything should be routed and that the output of Reaper should be connected. The output of Reaper should be connected to the Zoom input. Okay? Can you hear this?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Those are the drums. Okay. The different drums that I have now. What I have here. Okay. I decide just for playing. I decide to create the drums in the different sections here. Okay. And then I will be generating a blues piece. Okay. I will be generating a blues piece in this case. And the harmony will be created in BCB rack just for testing, and the melodies will be performed by my keyboard. Okay, so what is happening here? So if you have any question at any time, please let me know. This is variation or modification of the things that we learn in class. As you can see, it's a very tiny piece of code. Okay, what I'm doing is saying, okay, well, first turn on the MIDI. Okay, turn on the two MIDI devices, and then this is something that is more musical, that is related directly into the music. Okay, again, I don't know if you turn on your cameras. If you can do that, I would really appreciate it, if you can. Otherwise, if you cannot, it's okay, but at least one face would be nice to see. Okay, so this is the blues, and then these are the chords for generating a blues. By the way, have anybody here play blues? Anybody here that plays blues?
No.
Not at all. Nobody like it. No, nobody.
I
I
mean,
like it, teacher.
I like it, but I don't play it.
Okay. You know the harmony progressions of blues. You know them. Anybody here knows the harmonic progressions for the basic blues?
Yeah, it's the one, fourth and fifth grades.
Exactly. And it is made of 12 core. It's made of 12 bars, right?
Right.
So usually the most traditional basic blues situation is made of one and all the time with the seventh, right? It is a style that requires all the chords to have a major seventh, a seventh on the chord, right? So as you can see, it starts with one bar of um, a grade number one, which is like the fundamental chord. Then you have the fourth grade. Then you go to the first one for two chords. Then you go to the fourth one for two chords. Then you go to the first one for two chords. Then you go to the fifth. Then you go to the fourth, and then you go to the one, which you can use again as a fifth here. Okay. This is the traditional, most traditional 12 bar blues that is using only three chords. Okay. Which means that if you're going to play it, you need and let's say that we're going to play in C major. Okay. We're going to play in C major. Well, you need the first chord, which in this case is the first chord would be the second, the fourth, the seventh, and the 10th notes, right? Let me show you this in the keyboard here. So let me stop sharing and then sharing now the cameras. Okay. So in the blues we have the first, right? It's just the first, which means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 0, 30, 7, and 9, right? And then the fourth could be, which is gonna become 0, 3, 5, and 7. And then the fifth is gonna be the 11, 2, 5, and 7. Okay, these are the chords that I have decided to have here. The tonica, well, the la tonica is made of the 0, 4, 7, and 10. The subdominant is going to be 0, 3, 5, and 9. And the blue and the dominant is going to be the -1. Why -1? Because I have the inversion of the chord, which means the 11, 2, 5, and 7. And which is the generic? This is an abstraction. However, I want it in a specific tone, which is gonna be in the center register of the 48th. Okay, we should remember that 69 is A, that 60 is middle C, which means that 60 minus 12 is 48. So it's just one octave below, right? Did you follow the sequence of this work?
Yes.
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 Okay. Now, then I have to manually assign the different keys for this. For example, the kick drum is in note 35. That's where it has been mapped from the people that develop the drums. And then the kick drum left is in the 36, the tom floor, the tom low, the tom medium, which means, again, I want to go here, and then you can see it. You can see it here, right? You follow, no, this is not what I want to show. Okay, that's it. So this is gonna be, no, I cannot show that. It doesn't give me time. Well, but as you can see, this is 60. Okay, so this is 48. Okay, and this is 36. Switches, this is 35, 36, 37, and so on. Okay, So that is something that I did manually. That is something that I had to do manually. And these are these ones that I have here. Okay. Then I have to select a tempo. I want to perform this kind of fast. So this is in 140 BPM. Okay. And here there is some things that I found pretty cool and pretty magical to be.
Teacher, sorry, we're not viewing the supercollider code.
Yeah, apologize. That's it. Okay. So can you see it now? Yes. Right?
Yes.
Well, one of the things for coding is that I think we will be able to do some things that will be kind of extremely complex in any other system. Okay, what is happening here, and I'm gonna share you the code in a few minutes, is, well, we have, first of all, a pattern, which is a p-bind, that has all the general information. It's going to be MIDI, as you will know. Note which device, the MIDI device, and which channel, and then the stretch. Everything will be stretched into this tempo, and this tempo is the product of having this variation in tempo. Okay? Why? Because I don't want to be writing and writing this code all over and over the different sequences. When you use pchain, you are gonna mix, you are gonna include what it is in the p-bind, which is this material that is here, okay, plus what you have in the other p-bind, which is all of this material that is here, right? Just for not having to repeat this information over and over. Okay, and what is happening here? We have a pdef, as you will know. P definition is for giving names to the different sections. So we have one that is starting in base, and that base is going to all the code. All the code is a P definition called base, which is made of P parallel codes. Okay, this P parallel code is having different sections. This is one section, okay? One section, okay? These P change are smaller sections. For example, this one, it's another section. This one is another section, and so on. Each one of these ones is fixing different sections of the drum. For example, the part that we have here is the snare drum, is the snare. What he have here are the kicks. What I have here is the hi-hat close, okay? What I have here is this one is the hi-hat close, okay? And so on and so on, hi-hat, snare, and then the toms, okay? And this is playing infinitely, and then this is playing all over and over, okay? Let's check, for example, this one. This is probably one of the most of the complex of the, oh, I understand what is going on here. Can you see the letters? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, just for clarity purposes, I'm gonna take this code, okay? I'm gonna get this p-bind, and then I'm gonna put it in, well, at the moment for now, I'm gonna put it in another file. I just want you to see what is happening here, okay? I have this p-bind here, and then I'm gonna grab the things that I got here, okay? I'm just putting these here, so you can see it as a regular code, okay? And then, yes, I think we have it here, okay? This is the p-bind, and then that's it, okay? So this is something more regular to the things that you have seen, okay? What is happening here is the following. What is happening here is that, okay, it's MIDI, it's a note, it's in this device, it is a channel, it is stretched over time. And then this is important, the duration, okay? The duration, look at this. We pay a lot of attention. The duration is a sequence made of a 1, always starting with a 1, okay? Always starting with a 1, and then random, which that means that it could select. Sometimes we'll select this one, sometimes we'll select this one, sometimes this one, sometimes this one, and sometimes this one. What does that mean? That we can have 4 bars, for example, by random. Always we're going to have a 1 first. Always we're going to have a 1 here. And then we can have 3 blacks, okay? Sometimes we're going to have our fixed always black, and then another black, okay? And then 2 quarters, okay? We can have this one and this one, or we can have our black, and then, for example, this one, and this one, right? Oh no, that what I say is not true. It could be black, forget about this one. Could be black, and 2 quarters. Do you follow what is happening here? Yes.
Yes.
Why are you putting
Yes.
2 blacks, teacher?
Oh, because careful. We are always, this is a P sequence, right?
Uh-huh.
Because it is a P sequence, that means that it's an addition. First, it's going to play this one, and then it will go to this one by random, or to this one by random,
Okay.
or to this one by random, or to this one by random, or to this one by random. So black first, a fuercioris, okay? This one. And then you can go, for example, to this one, which is another black. Let's say this one, and then to,
Yep.
this is one option, okay?
Okay.
In the same way that you have this, you have also the amplitude. And because usually you want to have the feeling of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, okay? You have first a high volume, which means, let's say, forte, okay? And then it will vary the volume between 0.1, really tiny, to 0.8, but never reaching the 1. That means that we are also always going to have an attack on 1, and these ones could be changing in amplitude, okay? Yes? Do you follow what I'm trying to explain?
Yep.
Okay, and now what about the MIDI? In the MIDI side, we're sending everything to the MIDI device, which the MIDI device was created to be the MIDI output, which is the Super Collider output 0. Well, that means that the Super Collider output 0 MIDI, the Super Collider output MIDI 0, everything that is generated in Super Collider, okay? Everything that is generated in Super Collider should go to MIDI Reaper input 1, okay? This is my keyboard. This is my physical keyboard. And this is the first output of Super Collider that should go directly into Reaper, okay? That's why we can receive it on Reaper. And then if I do this, and then I just want to hear it, okay? I will put it here in play, and then I have the feeling that if I do this, am I missing a parenthesis or something? What is going on here? Can you help me? I think I changed something. This is finishing here. This is the P random finishing here, the array finishing here, the infinite finishing here, and then this parenthesis is finishing the P bind. Oh, I see. I need to put this in between parentheses so I could evaluate everything. Okay, that's it. Can you hear?
Yeah.
But what I do like about this solution, what I do really like about this solution is that it is a very efficient way for generating human. This is more human than being repeating over and over the same pattern, right? This is more human. The humans, we never play the same over and over and over and over and over, okay? So I don't know how well you can hear that, but just pay 20 seconds of attention. This voice one. Again, this one. This one. It was this one. Right? Yes?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Now, well, that is exactly what I did with the different sections, with the hi-hat close, kick drums, left and right, snare, toms, and so on. So if we play this one, yes, this should be reaching here. And this has been pan. And as you can hear, it's very, it has some variations all the time that are happening over and over, right? Well, this is in terms of the drums. Those are the drums. Obviously, if you're a drummer, you prefer to be, you prefer to have a drummer. But this is a very, this has some human variation that I think could be important in some styles of music. Okay, so that is the part of the of the drums. Now, what happened with the bass? Okay, let's hear a little bit the bass. Or, well, let's hear the bass. I don't hear the bass. Oh, the bass is here. It's pretty simple, the chords. I just want to have the chords. Okay? Okay, what's happening in the chords is the following. Same situation, sorry, same situation, okay? Another PDF that is called BCB melody, which actually should be called BCB bass, because at the beginning I was creating this as a melody. Same situation, same situation. We have MIDI, note, but this one is changing to a different MIDI device, okay? Because one of them I wanted to go up. So sorry, one of them I wanted to go to one of them. Oh, I want to go to the from Super Collider to Reaper, and this one I wanted to go from Super Collider to BCB Rack. Therefore, I have this one going to another MIDI output, okay? And that MIDI output is connected from that MIDI channel, connected, the second one, as you can see, this is the second one, is connected to the input of the BCB rack input, okay? So this code, that is the second part, is going from Super Collider to BCB rack, okay? That's why I have another MIDI output, here, okay? Same channel, same stretch, and this is made of four bars, 4 black notes, which mean 1 full bar. Okay, all the time 1 full bar. And this is the actual blues material. Okay, this is sending, and remember that you can send polyphonic notes. If inside here you have a note 60, you're going to have 60 and 61 and 62, right? If you have them as arrays. I don't know if you remember that from the first month of classes. However, if you put them between commas, you will have many notes at the same time, which is what is happening here. In this case, I'm getting the tonica, the fundamental. Do you remember the fundamental chord, which means the 04710, 04710, but this 04710 plus the fundamental, which was 48. If we have an array and we add a number, this, if we have 0478, I think it was, I'm not quite sure, plus 48, then we are going to end up with an array of 48 and 52 and something else and for something else. We are just adding one value to the array, and then we end up adding that value to all the elements of the array. And then these are my 12 bars. The first 4 as fundamental, then 2 as subdominante, then another as tonica, dominant, subdominant, and fundamental, right? Just as we had directly in the code that we have here. Okay. However, this is just sending chords. This is just sending 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And then, right, exactly, it's just sending chords. I could decide, and that is up to you guys. You have to decide if you want the chords to be harmonized in Super Collider, or you want them to be harmonized in BCB Rack. I decided to do it in BCB Rack just for the fun of playing, just for the fun of exploring a little bit the tool. Okay, again, this is a tool that is free. If you Google a lot of the tutorials, you will end up finding a very pretty amazing pieces of material being generated. Okay, what do I have here is my MIDI input. This one that I have here, this one that I have here, this one that I have here is my MIDI input, right? On my MIDI input, I have select that I want jack to be the input, that I want the Super Collider to be the input, okay? And then I have that part, okay? What is happening with this? Well, the notes of the input, the MIDI input, are being sent to this one is being sent to this small device. Is an arpeggiator, okay? This one is an arpeggiator, okay, that requires a clock to generate notes, okay? This clock is also a 140, but pay attention to this. The reset that is here is being triggered by the gate. So each time that we have new notes, we reset the clock. That's why we can synchronize Super Collider with the harmonizer that is in BCB Rack. Then we have the clock, and then we have the notes. The notes are going through the harmonizer. Well, actually, wait a minute. I'm gonna play it and you can hear it. First of all, I'm gonna play this one one more time. I'm gonna only turn on is this one. As you can see, it's very simple, right? These are just the sequence of the blues, right? That part that is there is this one. It's only this one. This section from here are the chords, okay? Thin lines, as you can see, there are two different lines. This is thin and this is thick, okay? Thick because it's polyphonic, thin because it's monophonic. So when you set up your device, you can select it to be polyphonic. and then I'm selecting this is polyphonic, and I will have please reserve 4 notes of polyphony. Okay, so these notes are the input for a oscillator. Okay, this is an oscillator. I'm updating 1 octave above. Okay, I'm just playing a little bit with the harmonics, and then the output of that generator is getting into an envelope generator. This is just an envelope generator that is coming to the envelope generator. Okay, and the envelope generator, the gate for turning on a note, is coming from the gate, which means MIDI note and MIDI off. Okay, and the output of that envelope is coming into a small filter, just a cutoff filter, very simple cutoff filter, and the output of that filter is going into the mixer. Do you remember that we have a mixer? We did that a couple of months ago or so. It's coming to my mixer. The output of the mixer is going to my, the output of the mixer is going to my audio output, which again is set up to be in jack. And the output is going to Reaper. Careful, I decide to route everything to Reaper. So it's not going to the speakers, but it's going to Reaper. And Reaper, okay, and Reaper is receiving that on one of these channels, in this channel actually. Okay, I just set up this channel. Oh, the channel number 17, the channel number 18, apologize, the channel number 18, this one. Okay, channel number 18 has as input, it has a stereo from BCB rack. Okay, it's coming from BCB rack. Okay, and then we have that. So when I start to play this one, to be honest, I find it a little bit, but it was okay, but it was not extremely fancy. I wanted to have it as a bass, okay, which was okay, just in case that I need to perform while I was using my hands playing on the instrument. Okay, but I say, oh, okay, can I do a harmonizer? And I didn't know about the harmonizer object in BCB rack. However, I just Googled harmonizer, and then I found that you can do harmonizers. So the same signal, the same notes. Are you still here, guys? Are you still here? Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Here.
Okay. And then the same signal, the same output, the same notes are going to the harmonizer. The clock that is triggering the harmonizer is clock number 1 from this 3 channels clock, okay? That is being reset again with the gate, okay? The gate resets the clock. And one thing that I did was that the clock number 1 is multiplied by ×2. So this one is clicking twice on every 140. Why? Because I'm clicking 4 times, and that is going into the click. Okay, so, and then the same thing, another oscillator. However, this one is 1 octave below. This one is 1 octave below. Again, the gate. Oh no, we will talk about this in a second. And the output is coming to the envelope, and the output of the envelope is going to the second channel of the mixer. So if I do this, this is just doing the chords that were received to become arpeggiated, right? Actually, the attack is maybe, that's it. Okay, And that because the sound was not changing a lot and it was becoming a little bit boring, I decided to use the clock for controlling a low pass filter. Oh, sorry, a low frequency oscillator. Okay. And the low frequency oscillator is changing gradually over time this parameter. So we have a way that the timbre is changing little by little. And the last thing of the project was that the audio is going to a small reverberation, so we don't have it too dry, right? Do you remember the plateau from the previous class? It was just a small reverberation thing that we could have here, right? And then I can remove this one, and then I have the chords, and then this thing that is happening here. Okay, so remember that all of them are quantized every 4 times the time, which means that if I start this one, it's going to start. Okay, and now, why am I doing this? Well, I'm doing this because I want to play, because I for some time I was playing a lot, and then I have an instrument that I know how to play. I would imagine that you could be engaged with one instrument. I'm pretty sure that almost all of you play an instrument in some degree. Okay, so what I was doing here is that let me just then stop here, and then I will go to share. Okay, I will share now the second camera. Okay, and then it's time to make to have some fun, right? So I'm going to start to play this. I record this, and then I can record that, and then I have a small improvisation in the blue style. Okay, so I had a lot of fun doing this. I had a lot of I enjoyed it a lot because it was a long time that I haven't created or performed in a blues context. But there are a lot of criticism to this piece. I can criticize a lot of things. One of it, I haven't create the way in which the drums are gonna be changing, because I was just testing the drums. But a real drummer is not gonna be playing all over and over all the time, all the situations over and over, right? Probably when you are on the 5th grade or something, he stopped playing the toms and he started to play only the hi-hats. For example, when the 12 cycles finish, probably it's gonna use a clash, right? As a regular drummer will do. And that is an important thing that should be fixed. It's extremely simple to fix. You just have to remember that we can turn patterns on and off along a P sequence, which means that the drums, what I have here, it is actually a 12-tone sequence. But here, I do not have a 12-tone sequence. That is one thing that I can change. That is one thing that I can improve, okay? Another thing that I can improve, besides the volumes, I'm not focused right now on the finishing tuning of adding of the mastering or post-production of the piece. First, I'm just doing the composition itself. Another thing that I don't like a lot is the quality of the sound here. Okay, it is okay. You can hear it, and yeah, if I change this one, I can change the way in the progression of the bass, right? The bass could change a lot. With this one, you have the different ways of doing the appreciation, right? There are different ways for doing the appreciation. But I can play with this. I can change the rhythm of the bass. Changing. Now it's just, oh, I can do it really fast, which maybe it's too much, right? So I can play with this one. Oh, and I'm not changing the chords because I'm not sending from here, from Super Collider to the BCP rack. Now it's changing, okay? But I can do something like this. Okay.
Teacher, we're reviewing your keyboard.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, let me share. Okay, so in the section here, the clock, which is in charge of changing the arpeggiator, okay, we can play with this. We can play with the quality of the sound and applying filters on the different sections. We can modulate the way in which the timbre of the chorus is changing, okay? And those are important things that we can change, okay? If we want to. And here, as I was mentioning before, in the drums, I should, or we should, do that the drummer pay attention to the blues progression. This drummer is deaf. Okay, this drummer play. You saw Sound of Metal, the movie Sound of Metal, in Amazon. They won Oscar, I think, for the sound, and the music producer is a Mexican guy. I don't know if you know the story, but last couple of months ago, 3 months ago, he lives in Tepoztlan and he helped to do the audio of that movie. But this drummer is not paying attention to what is happening in the chords progression. So we need the drummer to be more conscious. This drummer should be more conscious of the blues progression. And the bass player should be more conscious about the timbre quality. Okay? And that's it. Okay? So What do you think? What are your thoughts about this? Yoo-hoo. Are you around, buddies?
Teacher, so you just connect the BCB to the Reaper input, or there's a way to route it?
If I what, sorry?
Connect the output from BCB to Reaper input, or you have to route it?
The audio output from BCB. The audio output from BCB, the audio output is going through channels 1 and 2 to Reaper, from Reaper. Okay? From Reaper. And Reaper is getting that BCB here. So if I turn on again this one, here I'm getting the BCB, right? As you can see here, the input of that channel is focused on the BCB rack channels 0 and 1. Okay?
Okay.
Good. Okay. So what I want you to do, guys, over this class and the next class is, this is the beginning of something that I want you to evolve. You can modify it and you can, but I mean, I think the blues the blues is like the grandfather of pretty much all pop music. From rock to hip hop to everything. Okay, so it would be good if you get the roots of this, and then what I want you to do is, from this code, I want you to expand and to start to do your own blues version. Okay, things that you should change, well, the drum situations. Things that you should change, you could add as many layers as you want. Okay, you can connect these to other softwares if you want, but it should be connected. Okay, and you can obviously add more layers into here. Okay, into the BCB you can add more situations, or you can send variations, counterpoints. For example, in addition to the chords, you could be generating one secondary melody on another of these parameters. Okay, in my case, I did all the connections very easily because Linux allows you to do that. If you are on a Mac computer, your MIDI channels are going to be connected, as we know, with the MIDI virtual port. And if you're on the Windows, you already spend a lot of time installing the MIDI virtual software for generating virtual patches. And if you are connecting audios, the audio from, no, actually this is, yeah, the audio from BCB rack, the audio from BCB rack should get into Reaper. So that is going to change in each one of your own computers, right? But at the end, you should have everything in Reaper, so you can start to record all what you are recording, and then you just need to start to perform and start to play. Obviously, in the future, not right now, but what I want to do is that once that I start, I'm going to start with a small introduction of drums, not starting directly like that, okay? And then I will have the cues, but everything is being recorded here. And then I can again do here, you know? And this is being recorded on the channel, right? And my bass is too low. and then it's gonna finish. These things that are starting and not finishing is something that we, or that you guys will have to finish. But at the end, here we have the recording of the MIDI, the recording of the drums, and the recording of the keyboard, right? This is recording of the bass, recording, this is recording of the bass, recording of the external instrument, and at the top, the MIDI recording of the drums, which means that now I should have everything here. Okay, and then I have this, and then I do my render and all the things that you well know. Okay, but that's it. So you have 2 weeks for making extending the variation of this material. Okay. Oh, one important thing that also should be taken into account. If you decide not to use, I'm not married with any kind of tool at all. So if you decide not to use Drum Gizmo because you say, well, I have a very good drums on my Mac computer and you already have them and whatever, you are free to use that one. You are free to use that one. I really like this one because you have over 50 sounds per each little individual drum that you have. And that humanizes a lot. This tool also is changing the one of the drums that you are performing, which is very human. You that normal variations. A drummer never hits with the same force on the same exactly point of the drum, and that changes the sound, and that at the end becomes listenable, right? So you are encouraged to use Drum Gizmo, and then the Mulldog kit. But if you prefer to use any other drums, you are free to use it. Okay. If you decide to use that one, you will have to change the MIDI channels. Okay. Be aware that probably then you will have other values here based on your own MIDI drums or your own MIDI parameters that you have. Okay. So this is the description of the work. Obviously you are also okay. Well, right now I'm not recording MIDI. Right now I'm not recording the MIDI of my performance. I just record the audio of my performance. But if I decide to do it with MIDI, I will be able to edit that improvisation. I could also do that. So I'm not recording audio from my Nord, but I'm recording MIDI, and then I can erase the keys that I don't want to have, and so on and so on. Okay, which is something that you have here in the same way. No, this is the MIDI, and then let's say that at the very end of your final rendering, you don't want that last sound. Well, you can say bye-bye to this one, and so on. No. And then you can erase them and so on. Okay. Questions?
How did you know that those channels were to that drum, or how did you know the channels?
Oh, the way that I did know it was because I play on my keyboard until I found the value, the proper. I play all the keys until I found them. Okay. But that's because the documentation here didn't tell the MIDI channels. Probably if I would have opened the MIDI file, the MIDI map. Okay, well, it's here. Actually, this was way more easier than it's here. Okay, in this particular case. Okay, in 52, in 59, and so on. Okay, here I have the different parameters. I do have them here. But if you decide to use another drum machine, probably you will have to find them on the documentation of that particular one. Okay. So yes, that's That's it.
Okay, thanks.
Any other question, guys? Fernanda, questions? Your microphone is muted.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just my cat is here in my computer, so but no, I don't think. Well, is this final project going to be individual?
Yeah, okay, well, the point is this one. This final project will be individual, and over the next class, I will be checking your progress, okay? We are gonna have time, and then you're gonna be sharing. But what I want you to encourage you to do is that if you know that, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, Aldo Guernica played the sax, and you want to have his saxophone recorded, then you record his sax, okay? He plays at home, and then you record it through Jack Trip, or you send him the bass, and then he perform, and then he send you back your audio, and you put it together. Because at the end, we all are gonna be working with the same kind of bass, okay? Because we have a fixed 140, and because we have a fixed blues structure, okay? Don't change the harmony. Don't change you can extend it. You can modify it. For example, if you go to the documentations about blues, you will realize that there are some variations. For example, it is common that the last chord of the blues is not a one, but it is a fifth. So if you decide to do that, you can, if you want to, change this one to become dominant. For example, you can do that because that is not gonna affect the structure of the piece. But obviously you cannot change to become 11 chords, 11 bars. That would be very weird, right? And then you can record. Yes, it's individual, but you can invite people to perform in your variation. Okay. And obviously, blues tends to be between, I don't know, 4 minutes or maybe 3 minutes. 3 minutes between 2 and 4 minutes. Okay. Important things that you could have. You should have an intro. You should have a place where improvisation should happen, and you should have an ending also. Okay. Which means that in this particular case, just because this is a mock-up from the beginning, I'm just triggering the drums like this. Here we go, okay? I'm just triggering the drums. But probably what I do need to use is to start to do my composition where I'm gonna be playing, okay, different sections of this part in different situations, okay? Which could be nice. And again, you should listen a lot what you are doing. You should be careful about what you are listening. For example, if I improvise, maybe I could handle this for 2 minutes. Yes, I think, I mean, I can improvise for a long time. But if you go to a bar to hear blues, and then you have that drums, you are gonna say, this is what is happening here. This is not decent, right? So drums should be fixed, and probably bass should be fixed. Elements could be added, okay? An intro with a nice ending and so on. Yes, Fernanda?
Yes, very well.
So we're going to be limited to only work on blues?
Yes, this is the first structure. This is the structure, okay? Okay. You cannot modify this structure because what I want to see is the progress and the way that if everybody do whatever, it's going to be very hard. If we have the same starting point, could be very interesting to see how one people evolve it to one section and another person evolve it to another direction and so on. Okay. But again, you should start from this drum mechanics. I'm not saying, I mean, You cannot do a blues in Ableton without using this code. You have to use this starting point, this code, and you have to use also this starting point of BCB. So for this particular case, it is mandatory to have the BCB rack in one section. You can, if you want to, send another thing to Ableton, for example. In the same way that I'm sending to BCB rack, I don't have Ableton here and I won't be able to do it, but I could generate something else for Ableton. So this one is gonna be to Ableton, okay? To Ableton. This is gonna be MIDI to Ableton. If you decided, okay? MIDI to Ableton, okay?
I don't think you're sharing your screen, Professor.
Oh, so you can copy this one, right? And this PDF is to Ableton, and then you have another MIDI to Ableton, okay? And then probably I will generate this again. This is not gonna work for me because I don't have Ableton, but okay, this would be, and then this one is going to 0, 1, and 2, okay? And then I have another output from MIDI device, another MIDI device going to Ableton. And then in the Ableton, I will get something and I will do something with I'm getting. But the brain of this piece is this code, okay? Just as an exercise, just because you get out of from the tools that you know, and also because as far as I can see, it will be extremely hard to do a humanizing digital code. It's kind of complicated, but these techniques allow you to do it in kind of in a simple way, okay? And then yes, you can use Ableton if you want to, but it is another layer on top of what you are doing. Another things that could be done if you want to, and I'm just trying to recover all the curiosities or the things that you were focusing on the previous final, on the final that you did for the second partial. Some of you play. Some of you guys play in acoustic instruments, okay? In order to achieve the acoustic instruments, what we realized is the small link that I sent to, was it to Fernanda or was it for Stefania? Is Stefania around? No. Which was using Reaper, right? Using Reaper for converting MIDI audio to MIDI. Okay, so was it you, Fernanda?
Yes, it was me.
Okay, and how can we achieve that? Well, there are many tools to do that. There are a lot of tools to do that, but the one that we found that it was kind of simple was using let me save this before anything else. Was a BST plugin from Cocos. Cocos is the company of Reaper, and that has the, what was it? Was Stefania, do you remember the name? It was, I would imagine that is, no, it's not Peach. It was, no. Oh, it was this one. Okay. This one to allow you to do send MIDI events, okay, and detect the channels on channels. Oh well, actually, where? Oh, I see. Because I need this one to come. Where did I wrote this one? Oh, here. I need to, and then the input of this one is gonna be my simple captures number 3 and 4. Okay, that's it. Okay. Okay, and now because this has a very horrible tremolo, it's not gonna. Okay, that's it. It's just detecting, but it's sending MIDI events when the pitch changes. Okay. Okay, I'm using my keyboard, but you can use the flute or actually, well, yeah, can I use my microphone? I think I can do my, well, I'm not going to use a harmony, but you understand the idea. So if some of you play the guitar, Fernanda, at the end, did you use this one? Did you use this one?
No, I'm so sorry, Professor, but since I also had other projects to deliver, I wasn't able to actually test this
Oh,
play.
I see. But okay, if you play a saxophone or you play the flute or you play a guitar, this is gonna only gonna work on monophonic signals, by the way. But if it's an a monophonic signal and then you start to record as a MIDI record, MIDI, okay, and then you record. Well, I'm just not paying attention to what is happening. For example, I'm assuming that here, no, this was recording only audio. Why is this recording only audio? I want to record MIDI, MIDI, MIDI. Oh, I guess because I have to route it to another device. So then I have to route this one, okay? And then I have to put my here in this case my receivers of MIDI input, and then I want to create a receiver for no output. No, that's not. It is getting MIDI. This one is getting MIDI. Record force MIDI. Okay, this is the 20 recorded. Okay, it's been recorded, and here we have our MIDI recorded. Okay, here I should have my MIDI in some section because it was recording MIDI. Okay, no, actually it did not record the MIDI. But we are generating MIDI. As you can see, these yellow lines is because we are generating MIDI. We are getting MIDI here. And the input is audio or MIDI, but the recording is not saving the MIDI. On the link that I sent you on YouTube, the person managed to record MIDI here. So MIDI output. Sends our outputs. And then the outputs. Why is this not recording MIDI? It should be recording MIDI. It's not recording the MIDI. Let me check that while you install all of these on your machines, and then I give you the solution, because I think I have to root something that I don't have rooted, and I need to check why. Maybe it's because MIDI is coming from no, that's not true. Okay, let me check that in a second. I'm gonna send you this code, the Reaper material, the link of the drums if you want to use the drums, and the links of BCB rack. And during the class, it is 5:30. We can have a 10 minutes break if you want. I want you to install everything and check that the things are working. You will have to root the drums if you decide to use it in another context. If you decide to root, for example, the MIDI, well, that would be very simple. If you want this to be routed to a drums in Ableton, you could, that would be very simple, actually. Maybe the best thing to do is in Ableton, setting up the inputs of these drums things, right? But I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you have a lot of, I mean, it's not gonna be easy to have a finished, well polished piece that has structure, beginning, ending, improvisation, sections, instruments, okay? Do you have any other question? No, Juan Pedro, Axel, Aldo, Sebas, Ricardo, Eduardo, Luis Miguel, Luis Gerardo, Oscar.
I think for the moment, no, but maybe when we install it, it's going to be difficult and the questions are gonna rise.
Okay, let me then save this one without this channel. Let me change this one without this channel, and then turn off these ones. I'm gonna save this one. I'm gonna save this one, and then I'm gonna save this one, although this one is gonna be saved as save project as oh no, this is fine. This is not what I want. Oh, I'm gonna erase these ones too. This one, I'm gonna save this one as blues BCB. Okay, this is blues BCB, this is drums, and all set. So let me send this one. Let's have a 10 minutes break, and if you in the meantime want to do something else, I see you here. I'm gonna upload all of these materials into Teams right now, and see you here in 10 minutes.
Teacher, did you say that you're going to upload the file?
Yes, after the break they will be uploaded. Okay. Your audio is there is a problem with the Zoom. There is a problem. What is the question?
I don't know if it was me or did you listen what I say?
I missed what you said, and your sound sounds very vocoderish.
Oh, well, I was just asking if you are going to upload the file.
Oh yeah, right now.
Canvas.
Once that you come back from the break, they will be on Teams.
Okay. Thanks.
Yes. So see you here in 10 minutes. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Okay, so if you are here, just one detail that was important. I just recheck, and if you want to convert into MIDI, maybe singing would be very hard unless you are really, really, really tuned. Singing could be a little bit problematic. However, guitars, flutes, sax, and so on. Obviously, if you have a sax, probably you want to record the sax. But if you want to control any other instrument with the instrument that you know how to play, probably what you want to do, as we mentioned, is that you can use RIA tune. Tune, okay, when you play it, this is not MIDI. I'm getting the audio from this instrument, and then I'm sending what has been detected as MIDI. Okay, these MIDI events when pitch changes. So when the pitch change, please send the MIDI. Okay, and then once that I have that, what I was forgetting is this recording. The recording should not be the input, but the output of MIDI. Select record output MIDI. Okay, and then if you
Teacher,
select,
we are not seeing your screen.
one more time again, sorry. Okay, sorry, apologize. So what I want you to do is that if you need to record into MIDI, let's say that you want to record a flute, but then convert the flute into some virtual instrument that you have, then you can select the retune, okay, which is gonna getting the input and is gonna be outputting send MIDI events when the pitch changes, okay? And then when you do that, the thing that was missing was this record output MIDI, okay? So record output, and then record output MIDI, okay? And then if you do that, you will be able to record. Okay, whatever I just did. And then as you can see, it's recording MIDI, okay? And what you have is MIDI. However, these algorithms are not perfect, and none of the algorithms that I know are perfect. And as you can see, there is a lot of noise, okay? This is noise, this is noise. All of the things that are here are noise. So probably you will have to clean a little bit, especially if you're recording in a place with noise and so on. It could be problematic, okay? But at least you have a kind of conversion from audio to MIDI. There are many other tools for doing that, but this one is already embedded in Reaper, so it could work. You already have on Canvas the materials, the starting point of this example. You will find that there are some things that you have to fix on your own computer. In order to have all this routing, you will have to configure your own audio setups, your virtual audios. If you don't have Soundflower and you don't have Loop Audio Port, you will have at least one of them for sending the audio from BCB to Reaper, okay? So the audio from BCB to Reaper should happen with a virtual audio cable. So you can use either Soundflower or Loop Audio and the Loopback port audio. Those are two important things in terms of audio, and the same with the MIDI. In terms to send audio MIDI from Super Collider to PCB and MIDI to Reaper, you will need also virtual connections. Okay. Okay. Can you please download the zip file and start working on that? I think we are gonna take the next hour just for checking how are you doing, all the different situations that you could have. Okay. And then I'm just adding a couple of links to the materials. So on Canvas, you should have the starting point of this exercise or this starting material. I just want you to download it and start to see. There are a lot of things that you will have to do in order to make this code to run. For example, I'm using some specific models for the BCB rack. You will have to install them. You have to remember from our previous classes how to install different modules.
Teacher,
Yes.
if we are going to use another drum kit, do we have to change like the names in the code from
Not,
each like part and put the number, like the MIDI keyboard number?
can you hear me?
Yes.
The names, not necessarily. Maybe actually they could work, they could help you. But what you need to do is to change the number of the MIDI node that is triggering that particular drum.
Okay. So I just changed, for example, if the drum I want to use has the like hi-hat in the 60, I would just change in the code where the hi-hat is, I put 60.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
Yes. By the way, BCB Rack has also a set of drums individually, and you will have to do a lot of cables. I don't like it too much personally, but you can use that if you decide. I'm creating a list of links that you could have during these 15 days, but you can check that BZB Rack tutorials. There is one guy that is called, I think it's called um
Hey guys.
yes, is this person that speaks very nice. Omri Cohen seems to be a guru of BCB Rack. It seems that he knows everything. Okay, I don't know if you saw it when you were working with the BCB, but it is really good. So I'm just adding links here, okay, that you could see if you have questions.
Professor,
Yes.
I'm trying to open the file for the BCB rack, and it did show me a message that I needed to install some plugins that I didn't have, so I already did that. But with the modules installed and updated, I tried to open it, but it doesn't open anything new.
Anything new? What do you mean with anything new?
Yes, when I open my BCB rack,
Could I see? Could you share me your screen, please?
yes. So here's my BCB rack,
Mm-hmm.
and as you can see, the name it's supposed to be already your file. So look, I'm gonna try to open it. It's right here. But it's I had before. See?
Yeah, it doesn't have the slab new ones, right?
Yeah, no, but I already
maybe it was saved without that ones. Could you download it again now that you already installed the modules?
From Canvas.
Yes, unless you have a backup of that material.
Yeah, I do. But okay, yeah, let me try that.
Let's see that. It could be that when you close it, it automatically save it, and because it didn't have them before, then the file that you are opening do not have them anymore.
Okay.
Doesn't have them anymore.
Thank you. I'll try that.
Just please let me know.
Yeah, that worked. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, Fernanda, if you're gonna record, by the way, if you're gonna record from your guitar because you want the guitar to become a virtual instrument on BCB Rack, okay, just be careful of having your guitar completely well tuned, okay?
Okay.
And when you play, be very careful to play well. In a guitar is not too hard, but completely tuned, right?
Yes, will do. Thanks, Professor.
So I'm here just in case that you have more questions, but I would love that you have everything root before the end of the class, so we can go happily home. Well, we can go happily uh, off a Zoom to know that you can work on this material.
Teacher,
Yes.
I'm trying to download the Drum Gizmo file, but when I click on, in my case, the link for download it, the VST, it doesn't appear anything.
Could you
It
share
doesn't
your
download.
screen, please?
Yep. So I'm here, and in my case,
wait, I don't see you. Okay, yes, now I can see you.
Sorry. So here it is. I'm with Windows.
Yes.
My Windows have a 64-bit VST, and when I click on it, it doesn't do anything.
Teacher, I have a doubt. The Gizmo is only for Windows and Linux users?
Which one? Sorry.
This one, Drum Gizmo, is only for Windows users?
No,
Because
it
I'm...
has download VSTi version for MacOS here. Although we have to check that.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe I can try to download an older version, but I don't know if it's going to change.
And no, let me ask. Do you know? Oh, if you go to maybe the link is broken, but I am already downloading. Go to you can browse all releases files here.
Okay.
And then you want to download the Mismo BST64 zip. I guess you don't want Mac, so I guess is that one, right?
Okay.
I would imagine is that one. Just please double check.
Okay, let me check it.
Oh, and by the way, if you have questions about how to install Gizmo, I can send you a link. However, it's in Portuguese, but you can follow all the descriptions without any problem. I will send you the link in a few seconds.
É isso aí, pessoal, mais um vídeo aqui. Nesse vídeo a gente vai ver um pouco de Drum Gizmo, essa Virtual Drums para Linux, que tem versão em VST e LV2. Se você não... Eu vou clicar aqui, eu vou abrir o Drum Gizmo novamente. E para você adicionar os kits é bem simples. Vocês estão vendo aqui, ó, Drum Kit File. Você...
Yes, I'm sending the link of this material, okay? In case that you require for Linux and others, although this is focused on Linux, you can use it for checking for Linux, but works to know how to install drum kits. Okay, I will be sending you all of these links over the chat in a second. Probably I'm gonna be adding more links in case that you need them.
Professor,
Yes.
I have another question.
Yes.
I've now I have some trouble with the Reaper because this error message is showing.
You're all right. In order to have my BST plugin, in order to have Drungismo working on Linux, you need to use a bridge BST, which is called Carla. You don't need it because you are already on Windows. So go to type OK.
Okay.
Go to the file, to the top file, to the beginning, the first one that has all the that one. Go to the FX. You have the FX, and then probably you have the Carla, right? Remove Carla.
Okay.
And then go to add.
Okay.
And then you should have Drungismo. Did you already install? Are you gonna use?
I don't know yet, but if I do I need to select Drungismo? Okay.
Yeah, that is an important notice. Sorry, all the people were gonna have problems with Carla. You don't need Carla because you are not on Linux computers. So forget about that message and just erase it. Actually, maybe what we can do in such a way is that I don't want people to get confused with that. Okay, so just be careful. For example, you can use the Spitfire audio in case that you decide to use the drums that we did the other day that we already have, right? So we have drums there, and then yeah, you have the drums here, right?
Okay. Yes. Very well. Okay. Thank you, Professor.
Now be careful with be careful. Could you go back for a second?
Oh yeah.
Could you close that window?
Yes.
Okay. If you decide to do it, just be careful, and you have to create a track that is a virtual instrument, not a traditional audio card. If you decide to use another one, okay.
Okay. Yes.
And also, did I send the file with that drums recorded, right?
I think so.
Okay, don't get confused, because this could be a mess. Could you erase that one? People, don't take into account the MIDI recording of the first channel that I already right now record during the class, because at the moment it's being generated by Super Collider, right?
Can I stop sharing now?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
More questions, people, more questions.
Sorry, just to clarify, I was paying attention to the drum kit, but you told us that we need to change the Carla plugin.
Yes.
And what we need to put instead?
Are you gonna use drum gizmo?
Yep, I am downloading it.
Okay, once that you install that BST, then you will have. Can you share your screen, please?
It's not yet. It's not downloaded yet.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. By the way, guys, it's 2 gigabytes big, that drum kit. So if you download it, which if you are gonna use that particular drum kit, it's gonna take a lot of time to download. So be careful with that. Yes, Carla is a BST plugin for using BSTs in Linux. So you don't need Carla. Once that you download it, okay, you can just directly the Drum Gizmo. So just replace the Carla BST for the Drum Gizmo BST. Okay.
Okay, thank you,
That
teacher.
is explained in this link, by the way. It's in Portuguese and it's long and it's focused on Linux, but it is explained on this link, the one that I'm putting at the end of our chat. Okay. In the meantime, another thing that I don't like a lot is the bass. This is just a starting point. What I want to see is where are your imagination, your sonic imagination taking you individually. This was just a really fast experiment that I did in order to have everybody the same starting point. But I don't like the bass. I think the bass could be more musical. The bass should be more. We need to find a way to have a more musical bass. And one thing could be the swing, the rhythm of the bass. That is one thing that could change. Obviously, the tempo could change, and those two things are important to have in mind.
Teacher, sorry, I am trying to open VCB, but I can't, first of all, see which modules are missing, and I don't know how to. I already put engage lab modules in this VCB, but I can open it in VCB, the project that you sent us.
Can you share your screen, please?
Yes. I'm going to, if I open, it's supposed it's here. If I go to here,
I think it's easier if you open the BCB rack, the BCB file.
here there is, and if I open materials and blues, it doesn't open anything.
Could you or do you? Yeah, it happens the same to Fernanda. I think the same problem is the one that you have with Fernanda. Could you close? Could you open it again? I mean, do you have a backup?
I need to close this.
Yeah, close that one.
Ready.
Now that one, as you can see, can you download it again?
Download again BCB?
No, Blues BCB.
Okay.
If you don't have a copy, or maybe you have the zip file. Maybe you have the zip file. You already have the zip file.
Yes. I open the zip file.
Yes.
And here materials 2.
Open that one and then open that one. Yes.
And it shows this thing.
Oh, do you extract that file?
I don't know, what do you mean to extract?
Yeah, it's not the same to open a file that is inside a zip file that has been temporarily extracted than extracting the file. Can you type OK for 1 second? No, it is there. Yes, it's fine.
It's supposed that I open material zip and it unzip the I,
Yeah, it's
all of
fine.
them.
Can you rename materials to another name? Remove the space. I just want to check something. Yes, remove the space, then open materials 2, and then open blues. Rack's resource directory does not exist. Make sure Rack is correctly installed and launch. Oh, can you open BCB Rack?
PCB.
No, can you load the file? Go to file.
Now file, open.
Okay. And then select the materials to blah, blah, blah.
Download materials is open. Oh, it's supposed now, right? It's already
Yes.
open. Yes. Okay. Thank you, teacher.
Yes.
To listen to it, I need to open Reaper, right? To make the connections
In
and
order
also
to,
Super Collider.
yeah, otherwise you're not going to hear anything.
Okay. It's completely necessary to install. Let me check it. The drums that you installed, the drums Gimsa.
One more time, please.
Yeah, it's completely necessary to install the Gimsa drums Giza.
No, as we mentioned, you can use any other drum set. I decided to use that drum set because it has a really, really high quality open source or common Creative Common license, but you can use the one that you have in Ableton, or you can use the one in Speed Lab, the one that we did at the beginning of the semester, or you can use, actually you could, if you want to use drums inside BCB Rack, you have all those 3 alternatives.
I have some libraries and also the drum kits that Let's gives when you buy it.
Mm-hmm.
How can I connect those drum kits to the oh to the code of Super Collider?
Are
Because
those drum kits? BCB virtual instruments?
yes, I need to explain me in a proper way. I need to open live to show you, right?
Again, sorry, I didn't catch it.
I want to use the drum kits that also Lives offers when you buy it. The 90, the 880, the 80s and the 90s. Let me share my screen. I am getting a
Oh,
little
if
bit
it's if it's
stressed.
a if it's a drum from Ableton, you won't be able to use
I
this
want
one.
to. I won't be able to use these ones.
Yes, you can, but then
I can.
you need to send MIDI from Super Collider to Ableton.
Okay. Can we solve that this particular case in a mentoring to try to make
Yes,
it?
but we can do it right now if you want to.
Oh, if it's no problem, yes, we can.
So the first thing that you need to do is you need to have a Super Collider open.
I'm opening. You can see my screen now. No, you
Only the
can't.
Ableton live code.
Let me put the disk, share the disk. I have already opened Super Collider here. This is the
Okay, now be careful and select. Well, execute the first line.
this one, right?
Yes. Now, as you can see, you have, oh, look, you have from max to max. What does that mean? That from max 1 and from max. Oh, interesting.
What to suppose is like the max for life?
Yes, although I think you can use it. I think you can use it anyway. So you can use any of those three. Select the 0 one, select the first one. So evaluate the line number 3.
This one, right?
Yes. Evaluate the line number, and now evaluate lines 23 to 23. Yeah, that one.
23 to 41,
Yeah,
right?
all of that. You can select all of that in one shot. You don't need to. Yeah, you can do that.
This one. Oh, like this, no?
Yes. Okay. Now select line 43.
43.
Select line 44 to 52. If you do control return inside that parenthesis, yeah.
This, the P line.
And now select that one. Just double click in
This
any
one?
place. Yes.
And also run it, right?
Yes. Okay, now go to Ableton.
Ableton.
And check if you are getting MIDI. Are you getting MIDI? Yes.
I don't know. Let me. Yes,
On the
here
top,
I.
yeah.
Here.
That means that you are getting MIDI. And now you only have to do the MIDI from, well, select the instrument.
I'm going to open this one. It's a drum kit.
Yeah.
So it's already here. I'm receiving. I'm not listening. But it's maybe because I'm not sharing the sound and I don't have. You can hear it, right?
Yes.
Okay. This
Now,
one.
maybe, but be careful because maybe the notes that are assigned to each one do not correspond to the proper values that you are sending. So just be careful that you be sure that you are sending to the proper notes.
How can I see that those things?
As far as I remember, you have to click in the map.
The map here?
You have, yeah, that one. And in that place, right? You have, let me see something. Can you see, can you go to the list that it is there? Nombre, ruta, and then can you just check something? Can you click in one of them? For example, in comp, and yeah, that one. Give me a second. Give me a second. Yes. No. Can you click on? I don't think it's in the map. Can you stop the map? Can you turn off the map button? Can you type on the right click on DR boost, for example, or Tom High, you know, Tom High? There. Right click or something.
Yeah, here I can change it.
Yeah, you can change the sound, but you cannot change which MIDI note is assigned to.
No, I can't. As far as I remember, I can't.
It should be possible. Oh, look, it is there. Can you
Sure?
see? Yeah, oh, it's there. Yes. As you can see, okay.
This in this part, no, right?
Yes.
Here.
You have them from C1 to D2 and so on and so on.
Yes.
Stop. Can you give me 1 second? Now I remember. It's been a long time since I didn't use Ableton. Give me 1 second.
Yes, teacher.
I need to go. Give me 1 second. Okay, here. Okay. Can you see here that you have different? These are ranges. These 2, 4 elements.
Yes.
Belongs to all these sections.
Yes.
You can create mappings where you can have a bunch of related, but these ones, can you click, if you click here, okay, or whatever, it's gonna tell you here to which MIDI value is assigned to.
Yes, if I click here, it says that it's in C2.
Okay, so probably the easy way to go is going to Super Collider. Okay.
I need to move to Super Collider.
And then check that that was the hi-hat maybe. Go to the top of the file. And then the
Here, right
hi-hat.
in drums.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe then, I don't know what was that one, but let's say it was this one, the tom. Instead of being 42, it should be the equivalent to C2.
I need to share it in a table that you gave us in the first class, right?
You can infer it. You can see that middle C is 60, right? So C2 is 48, I guess, right?
So I need to change kick drum, tom floor, all of these ones
Yes, all of
to
these. Those 16
all
values?
to those to all of these.
Yes.
Okay. It's going to be a little bit crazy, but okay.
No, it's just 16 numbers.
Okay, I'm going to change it and then I'm going to.
The other option would be to apply, right? The proper values, but it's more complicated. I guess it's more complicated to change them in here than change the numbers.
I can use all of these ones and change it in here. I mean, if I have a kick, only one kick, put it like kick 901 here and with her value, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to start. And if I have another doubt, I'm going to open my mic.
Yes, please do that.
Thank you, teacher.
Teacher, I have a problem.
Yes.
How can I connect the BBC rack to Reaper?
Oh, could you share your screen?
Oh, yeah.
Are you Windows or Mac?
I'm Mac.
Do you install Loop Backport or Sunflower?
I have Sunflower.
Okay. Then can you go to the top where you have the audio 8?
Okay.
And there where you have, click on where you say core audio.
To bridge?
Oh, yeah, but I don't see, are you sure you have Sunflower on?
How I can check that?
Can you go to the audio preferences of Mac?
It's the MIDI something, right?
No, the
No?
MIDI, the audio preferences first.
Uh,
Go to the system preferences. Good. Go to sound. And then select as salida y entrada. Select Sunflower. Okay.
Okay.
Close that window. And then probably, can you pick again in core audio, in the place where you have the core audio? Let's see. Okay, keep core audio and then click there in the second, yeah. And then select Sunflower 2 and 1, that one. Yes, does it say Sunflower?
Okay. Yeah.
Now go to Reaper and change the preferences of your audio.
Okay.
And then in device, instead of having default audio system, select
Sunflower.
And then apply.
Oop.
Select OK. And then can you put a BCB rack to play something?
How I can do that?
Well, if you want to do it with a MIDI input, you will need to put the MIDI input. But because we are in a hurry, maybe just well, maybe.
I can use the keyboard.
Okay, yeah, actually,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Type an A. Okay, that's it. Okay.
Okay.
Now that audio is being generated, and that audio is being going to the speakers, and that can you now select? Go down to from your. Oh, can you? Yeah, can you raise your mixer? Yeah, that's it. Now go down, 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 down to the last 18 channel. And in that light channel, can you make a little bit longer the track information? Yes, and now type record.
Okay.
Yeah, and then in the input output select.
It's MIDI.
No, because it's audio what you are getting.
Okay. Okay.
Oh no! Go to your preferences first. Did you already select sunflower? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So type OK. So you have sunflower going. Oh, but the VCB is not sending audio anymore.
Okay.
Go back and then select. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. That should be sounding because you are sending audio from sunflower to sunflower input 1 and 2. Can you have both windows share so we can go back and forth more easily? Yes.
Oh,
Now send
okay.
audio from VCB. Ooh, yeah. It's sending. Can you raise the volume just a little bit in the master mixer? Yes. And then you have as a second thing sunflower, because the size of the window doesn't allow me to see if in VCB in core audio the thing that you have says sunflower whatever.
Yeah, it's sunflower, 2 channels, 1 2 in and 1 2 out.
Okay, that's good. Select that one. And then sending audio. And then going back to Reaper, because can you type again? Yes, it's input 1 and 2. You are sending from sunflower from VCB, and then you are receiving on channel 18 where you have as inputs input 1 and input 2. And then can you click on the input that you have as a second channel, as between the trim and the just there, yeah, it's an audio which is okay. Can you remove the muted, because it
Okay.
says auto muted?
Oh, it's
No, it's not.
what is automatic with auto mute?
I don't know. What happens with auto muted? Maybe because. Oh, can you go to your system preferences?
Yeah.
And remove that one. Yeah, maybe that is the problem.
The
Go.
sound.
Yeah, and instead of sunflower, select micrófono interno. And
In the
salida,
output,
select
I
bocinas.
choose
No, select bocinas.
bocina externa.
Yes.
Okay.
But internally, you are sending through sunflower. Can you check? Can you close and open
Let me see back.
Reaper?
Okay.
Can you remove the muted? Can you send audio from VCB rack? Bah. Ba, 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 ba. Can you turn off the small speaker that is on top? That one? Turn it off. And then try to do it again. Can you close both programs and open them again?
Yeah. Yeah.
And give it a try.
It's already working, right?
It seems so.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it's working.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
Teacher,
Yes.
how do I send the code from Super Collider to VCB rack?
How can you what? Sorry.
Send the code.
The MIDI values?
Yes.
Can you share your screen?
Yes.
Okay, you are on BCB. Can you go? Oh, are you on Mac or Windows? You're on Mac. So first of all,
On Mac.
let's be sure that you have your MIDI virtual cable on. Which we can check it directly on BCB rack. Can you go to the MIDI BC? Yes. Now in bridge, select core MIDI. Core MIDI. Now on device, select driver internal audio cable bus 1. Select channel 1 because it's the place where you have been sending. Good. Go to Super Collider. Now write MIDI client number, execute line 1. Execute. Okay, so as you can see in that array, it's the first one, the one that is the driver, right? Because you have a keyboard, right? Nice. The driver, that one is this number 0. So you can use number 0. So I think it's gonna work with the evaluating line number 3 if you haven't done it. Okay, and then run all the stuff that you need to run, which means for the first the drum section, go evaluate 5, 6, and 7 and 8. You can select 5, you can select them all together, but it's okay. and then go to the place where you have the, actually you don't need that ones because that is for the drums. And in that one, evaluate that from 89 to 1, yeah. Now we should be getting, as you can see, you are sending information. Can you see that it's being printed?
Yes.
But go to the PCB rack. But are we getting information? It doesn't seem that it is getting values, right?
No.
Can you select it again? Maybe go to, no, that should be fine. Driver, yak, push, channel 1. Yes, you're not getting. Can you go to Super Collider one more time, please? Okay. Oh, maybe. In the post window, I cannot see the end of the messages. Can you just move the slider to check what is happening on the second section of the post message? Just, yeah. No, go back. Can you go up on the code? Oh, sorry. I see the problem. It's MIDI 2 BCB because that one, the line number 3 was for Super Collider to Reaper, and it's the second one. So can you select the second one? But be careful. No. The problem is that we need 2 virtual cables, right? We need 2 virtual
one
cables.
for Reaper and one for VCV.
Yes, that means that, can you go to your audio MIDI setup?
Yes.
In your Mac computer, go to the class and type audio and MIDI setup. Yes. Then go to the MIDI ventana on the top, and then go to Studio MIDI. And then click on the driver IAC. Right click or something. Yeah. And then probably we want to have another well, we can do it either by channels. Would be one solution, is to split the signal into channels, but let's try another bus and see what happens. Can you another bus? Yes. Then you have a bus too. Okay.
Yes.
And then close that. Go to Super Collider. Reevaluate client init. And now you have bus 1 and bus 2. 0, 1, 2, and 3. Okay?
Yes.
Can you evaluate line number 2 just for from one small purpose? Okay, the first one, the second one. Can you just move a little bit the third one? And the fourth one. Probably then select 0, 1, 2, 3. Select, instead of having 0, no, instead of having on line number 4, instead of having 1, select 3. Obviously that could change. As you can see, that numbers could change once that you reintegrate new elements. And now evaluate line number 4. And then go to the place where you're sending data. On MIDI, go down to the place where you are sending the chords, Then select that one, select evaluate all of that line.
Do I change the channel?
No,
Here?
the channel is no, because one thing is the bus and the other is the channel. You are
Okay.
sending on channel 1 of cable 2. So evaluate all of that. Okay, and now change on the MIDI CV from BCB rack.
Yes. Bus 2.
Yes. Channel 1 from bus number 2, right?
Yes.
Can you go back to Super Collider? Yes, select bus number 2, that's fine. Select, go to Super Collider, type Apple dot in order to shoot down everything.
What? Comment
Apple
yes.
dot. Yes.
Yes.
And then can you go up for a second to the code? Reevaluate MIDI to BCB. And then go down. And then run that code. No, is that MIDI BCB port? Is it on? I guess. Oh, can you go to the MIDI properties of the computer?
Yes.
Yeah, that one. Double click on driver IAC. Or right click or yeah, whatever. Is it dispositivo conectado? Yes, it's on. Can you go bus number 2? Yes, everything is fine. Aplicar. And then go back to the Super Collider. Re-evaluate line number 2. Please first evaluate line number 2. Now let's check. You move the slider 0, 0, 1, 2. And yes, it seems it's bus number 3. Can you copy and paste the driver AAC bus number 2? Just drag, use your mouse to select that until the, well, and then instead of having the 3, do it by name. Remove the 3 and paste what you got. And then evaluate line number 4. And we see what happened in the post window. I just want to see that you didn't get any error in the pause window. Yeah, it seems that you didn't. Now evaluate that. Oh, can you evaluate the? Did you already evaluate the time? I guess yes, right?
Yes.
Can you re-evaluate from line 89 to 117? Did you get an error?
I don't think so.
Can you clean the pause window just to be sure? Right click, clean, re-evaluate from 89 to the. Yeah, but it's not printing. It's not printing anything. Oh, at this moment you don't need the server. Don't worry about the server because MIDI is not audio. So don't worry about that for now. Okay?
Yes.
But can you go up again? Reevaluate line 1, 2, and 4. I think it's fine. Now go to the place where you are sending MIDI. Did you evaluate that lines?
Yes.
Can you go to language? On Super Collider on the top, you can have language and the reboot interpreter. And then let's do it again. Can you go up? Line 1. Line 4, yes. And then go to the end, yes. Okay, no, we cannot call it by name in that way. So can you go up? Something is wrong with the way that we do it by name. That's the way we do it on Linux, but I don't know how to do it on. So select a 3 again. One more time, select the number 3. But go to the language and do reboot server. Sorry, reboot interpreter. Yes. And then one more time, line 1, line 2. Just give it a second, please. Okay, line 1, line 2, and line 4.
Yes.
Okay, and then those ones. That one.
Now it's working. Well,
This, but is
working.
MIDI? Are you getting signals there? Can you go to BCB?
No.
Can you change the? Go again to that one. Select number 1 and then going back to 2, for example. I don't know if it could be a buggy situation. Oh! Something happens in 1. Can you see?
No. Where?
The clock started, or am I wrong? In the reset, something happened when you reset. But no, it's not working. Go to driver again and select number 2. Okay, let's do this. For now, just for testing, selecting driver, select the boost number 1. And then go back to Super Collider. And there, select select number 2. Evaluate. Again, going back to the code. No, to the, you have to reevaluate. Yeah, that one. No?
No.
Go close BCB rack and open it again.
Now it's sending.
Yes. It is sending. Are you sure it's sending, or it was just the change of values? Can you go back to the place where we can see the MIDI input? I want to see if the gate is turning off. I don't see, because the refreshing of Zoom could be, but are you changing chords?
No, I mean,
in the driver bus, can you select, did you already have as a number 1, right?
yes.
Yes, that's fine. Can you go back to the code of Super Collider? What number do you have on top of the, did you have a number 2?
Yes. I think I'm missing like the output from VCB rack.
No, oh, you mean the output? Can you, yeah, but can you just, okay, can you go, for now, don't send it to Reaper, just send it to your speakers.
Okay, yes, it's working.
But is it changing chords?
I don't know. I can't hear it very well. I don't think it is.
Okay, that means that it sends the value, but then it's not sending the parameters. Can you go back to Super Collider? Is it sending notes? Yes, 48, 40, 52. Apple dot in order to stop it. Apple dot. Did you stop it? Yes.
Yes.
And then reevaluate that ending section. Go. Is it changing chords? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. It sounds a bit like chopped, the audio.
Can you share the audio?
I think it's because my computer doesn't handle VCB rack very well.
Can you go to the view engine in VCB? Can you go to engine?
Yes.
And type a CPU meter. No, it's not too problematic. Okay. Okay. No, but what I want, we are not getting MIDI from Super Collider to BCB. You have driver, jack, bus. Can you go again to core MIDI, to the MIDI CB? What do you have there? Which options? Yeah, core MIDI. Yes, that is fine. Then there, select BCB bus 1. Yes, in channels, go to channels. Select all channels, just for curiosity.
Now it's changing.
Yeah, because probably interesting. Probably because Super Collider is sending on channel 1, which is measured from 0 to 15, maybe. And then that one is being interpreted in BCB as channel 0. That's my guess, because you are actually sending in channel 1, right? Instead of channel 1s, can you go back to all channels? And instead of Hallins, can you select channel 1? And now you're not getting, right?
Yes.
Can you select channel 2?
It changed.
It is changing, right? Yes, that's because Super Collider is indexing from 0, and BCB is indexing from 1.
Okay.
Which means that when you are sending that 1, you are actually sending on channel 2. That means that there is a bug in Super Collider and you should type 0. Well, now you know the solution, but be careful, guys, with that. Okay?
Yes. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, dear lovely people, I hope that you are enjoying the challenge. This task encompass pretty much everything that we did during the semester. You will have to focus on all the different logics that you can do. You are using all the different tools that we learn. And remember, you can invite one of your friends to do one part of the layer, ideally with Jack Trip, otherwise with I will send you something and you play. If you know that some of you guys play an amazing flute or an amazing setup of something else, you can invite them to do the recording. Okay, and focus on the long-term experience of the situation. This is a musical challenge. This is not a technological challenge at this point. This is a musical challenge with the knowledge, with the technological knowledge that you have at this moment. I will be available even more because we are not going to have a class on Monday. So we have another 2 weeks without seeing each other in class. I also going to be working on this and I'm going to be updating updates. I'm going to be saying, hey guys, I did this modification in the drums. I did this, I did that. And I will be posting you that materials. Okay, that could be interesting for you. Oh, I'm going to get also my own road as doing something, and you will do it on your own with your tools, with your materials. And we are going to start to compare the materials. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be really, really interesting. I want you to feel that you are what you are, which are musical producers, but that you have more tools now than you had before this class, which is that you now can code many things, you can use another tools, and you can use the tools that you regularly use in your daily base professional life, which probably is Ableton Live or Logic or whatever. We can glue both universe, the universe of the commercial standardized techniques and these tools that, believe it or not, could boost your creativity with these tools, right? I'm going to be posting that. If you have questions, feel free to arrange tutorial meetings, individual tutorial meetings. But it's going to be challenge. And don't forget, the most important part of this is your ear. So be careful with that and have a lot of fun building this blues composition. Okay? More questions at the end? Otherwise, we finishing this class. The recording will be uploaded once that the render is finished. And I hope that you enjoy the class. I really enjoy the rounding up of this material. So I hope that you enjoy this as much as I enjoyed building it for you. Okay? Otherwise, see you soon.
Thank you,
See you,
teacher.
teacher. See you.
Excellent, teacher. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Ciao, Ricardo.
Teacher, I
Yes.
want to have a private mentoring
Yes.
because I'm already finishing the changing the values of the drum kit that I select in live. But I want to check how can I change the connections of the VCB rack to instead of Reaper to live. And I have a lot of questions watching the code, so I hope if you can explain me or solve it.
Can you do it on Wednesday, 11 a.m.?
Wednesday, 11. No, I have, I can, in Wednesday, I can, two of the two, and from 2 to the rest of the day in Thursday, after I have free until 7 p.m. Well, I have all the day, but I have class at 7. And on
Okay.
Friday, I
What
had
about Thursday 11?
Yes, perfect. And Thursday,
No,
it's
sorry.
perfect.
Thursday noon.
Noon at 12?
At 12, yes.
Yes, it's perfect for me at Thursday at 12.
Excellent.
Thank you, teacher. So see you on Thursday.
Excellent.
Thank you very much. Have a nice night and also a nice week.
You too.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.